Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush green hills, lived a humble blacksmith named Arik. Known for his skillful craftsmanship, Arik forged tools and weapons that were unmatched in quality. Despite his talent, Arik lived a modest life, dedicating his days to his forge and serving the villagers. His only companion was his loyal dog, Thorin, who always stayed by his side. Arik's life was peaceful until one fateful day when news of a fearsome dragon reached the village. The dragon residing in the nearby mountains had begun to terrorize the region, burning crops and stealing livestock. The villagers were terrified, and many fled in fear. Arik, however, resolved to find a way to protect his home and his people. The dragon's attacks grew more frequent, and the once thriving village fell into despair. Markets were empty, and the joyful chatter of children was replaced by silence. The village elder, a wise old man named Aemon, called a meeting to discuss their options. Many suggested fleeing, but Arik stood up and declared that he would face the dragon. Aemon looked at Arik with a mixture of admiration and concern. "Arik, you are brave, but the dragon is a powerful beast. You will need more than courage to defeat it." "I know," Arik replied, "but I cannot stand by while our home is destroyed. I will forge a weapon strong enough to slay the dragon." Determined to forge a weapon capable of defeating the dragon, Arik sought out the legendary enchanted ore, said to possess magical properties. The ore was rumoured to be found in the deepest cave of the Iron Mountain, a treacherous journey that no one had ever completed. With Thorin by his side, Arik set out on the perilous quest. The journey was fraught with danger. Arik and Thorin faced harsh weather, wild animals and treacherous terrain, but Arik's determination never wavered. Finally, after days of arduous travel, they reached the entrance of the Iron Mountain. The cave was dark and foreboding, but Arik pressed on, guided by a faint glow emanating from deep within. As Arik ventured deeper into the cave, the glow grew brighter, illuminating the path ahead. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a mighty stone golem, the guardian of the enchanted ore. The golem towered over Arik, its eyes glowing with an ancient light. "Who dares to enter my domain?" the golem boomed. "I am Arik, a blacksmith from the village. I seek the enchanted ore to forge a weapon to slay the dragon that terrorizes my home," Arik replied, standing his ground. The golem studied Arik for a moment before speaking again. "To claim the ore, you must prove your worth. Show me your skill and your heart." The golem led Arik to a forge deep within the cave, where an anvil and tools awaited. "Forge a blade that can cut through stone," the golem instructed. Arik set to work, his hands moving with precision and expertise. He poured all his skill and determination into the task, and as he worked, the enchanted ore began to glow, infusing the blade with its magical properties. Hours passed, and finally, Arik held up the completed blade. It gleamed with an ethereal light, sharp and strong. The golem inspected the blade and nodded in approval. "You have proven your skill. Now for the test of heart." The golem led Arik to a chamber filled with illusions of loved ones in peril. Arik saw images of his fellow villagers, his friends, and even Thorin all in danger. The golem's voice echoed through the chamber. "To save them, you must confront your deepest fears and desires." Arik's heart pounded as he faced the illusions. He felt the weight of his responsibility, but his resolve never wavered. He called out to the illusions, reminding himself that they were mere reflections. He focused on his love for his village and his commitment to protect it. With a deep breath, he stepped forward, dispelling the illusions with his courage and clarity of purpose. Having passed the tests, the golem granted Arik access to the enchanted ore. Arik gathered enough ore to forge a mighty weapon and returned to his village. With Thorin by his side, he worked tirelessly at his forge, crafting a sword imbued with the ore's magic. The sword, named Dragon-Slayer, shimmered with an otherworldly light, its blade sharp enough to cut through the toughest scales. As Arik completed the sword, the villagers gathered around, watching in awe. Aemon approached Arik and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You have done well, Arik. Now the fate of our village rests in your hands." Arik, armed with the Dragon Slayer, set out to confront the dragon. The journey to the dragon's lair was treacherous, but Arik pressed on, his determination unwavering. As he approached the lair, the ground shook and the dragon emerged, its eyes burning with fury. The battle was fierce and intense. The dragon's fiery breath scorched the earth, but Arik dodged with agility and skill. He struck with the Dragon Slayer, each blow weak. The beast. Finally, with a powerful thrust, Arik drove the sword into the dragon's heart. The dragon let out a deafening roar and collapsed. Its reign of terror ended. Arik returned to the village, weary but victorious. The villagers cheered and celebrated his bravery, their spirits lifted. Aemon declared a feast in Arik's honour, and the village was filled with joy and gratitude. Arik, though humble, felt a sense of pride and fulfillment. He had not only protected his home, but also proved the power of courage and determination. Thorin barked happily, wagging his tail as he followed Arik through the village. The bond between the blacksmith and his loyal companion had grown even stronger through their shared journey. Years passed, and the tale of Arik, the dragon-slaying blacksmith, became a legend. The village thrived once more, and Arik continued to forge weapons and tools, his work even more renowned. He trained young apprentices, passing on his skills and the lessons of his journey. The enchanted sword, Dragon Slayer, was displayed in the village square as a symbol of hope and bravery. Arik's story was told to children around the fire, inspiring future generations to face their fears and stand up for what is right. And so, the legacy of Arik, the humble blacksmith who became a hero, lived on, reminding all who heard it that true strength comes from the heart, and with courage and determination, even the mightiest challenges can be overcome.